So everybody, I guess you can hear me, right? Can somebody message me to see if they are hearing me or not? Or am I talking to myself? Okay, Laili is hearing me, right? Good. Oh, great, very nice. I'm going to. I was watching the questions also, which were coming while the lecture was going on. So let me take one or two of the ones which I recall, and I think which are very important. One question was, is homeschooling better than the system that we are following? You know, it's not the system, it is the people in the system. And that is the main thing. I didn't go to a homeschool, and I think I went to one of the best schools that I could go to, and the effect of that schooling I feel in my life every single day of my life. And it was not a homeschool. But at the same time, my mother played a huge role in my education at home. There was even the term homeschooling had not been invented at that time, so we are not even talking about that. But I'm just saying that it's the people in the system. So in the homeschool, if you are doing homeschooling, then it's a question of who is doing the homeschooling. Now, what the homeschooling has evolved. I mean, homeschooling is not just your mom or dad or somebody teaching the child at home. It's a lot more than that. Obviously, as you know, you're all teachers, so I don't have to sort of spoon feed you in this. People are making collectives. They are getting together with other parents and so on and so forth. They are also homeschooling is supported by some online curriculum classes and things like that. But the long and short of it is, at the end of the day, the question is how good is it? Is it better than standard schooling, or is standard schooling better? Depends on who are the people in it. Homeschooling may not be possible for everybody, whereas our standard schooling system obviously caters to a lot more people in society. So I don't think we are seriously looking at going away completely from a standard schooling system. But yes, definitely homeschooling is something which I think is extremely important. It's something which is extremely effective. By homeschooling, incidentally, I don't mean the kind of stuff that happens in our homes. For example, parents doing homework for their children, right? I know I must be making some people uncomfortable, but you know what happens in our homes. Mothers usually are the biggest culprits of this. They do homework for the children because they want the child to pass, whatever way. Just think about what you are doing to the child. You are inculcating irresponsibility. You are creating a born failure in life. You are inculcating lying and cheating because the child knows that he did not do the work. Maybe even the teacher knows that, but the teacher can't be bothered to question that. You are inculcating all the negative values, which, believe me, one day they come back to bite you, and we are living in that. So do think about that when you are talking about homeschooling or anything like that. All right. What are the other questions? Yes, Atuba Saeed is kindness, compassion, and empathy. Yeah, they are synonymous in a way, but I think empathy is where it's in a way the what do I say? It's the feeling of that kindness as something which is not somebody else. It's not happening to somebody else. It's what differentiates kindness as pity from kindness as empathy, meaning I am with that person in whatever is happening to them. I think that's the connection between kindness and empathy. I think Atuba Said, is homeschooling better than formal schooling we are following today? I think I answered that already. Mohsin Saeed, what are your suggestions to teach discipline to a class of 50 students in this average size of a government school? You know, that's a beautiful question. There is only one way to teach any value, and that applies to discipline as well. You know what that is? Demonstration. Right? Demonstration. You will get students who, I always say this, children listen with their eyes. There is no point in talking about discipline if you come late to class. There is no point in talking about discipline if you come unprepared to class. There is no point in talking about discipline if your shoes are not shined. I remember Mr. Kruger Jacob's shoes till today from the 60s to 2020, right? It's just a matter of shoes. But it was the demonstration. How do you teach discipline? By being disciplined yourself. Starting on time, finishing on time, ending on time. Teaching, treating students with respect, right? All of these are part of discipline. Where was the other question from Suman Bala Singh? But in action, we don't find it in the system. Of course you don't. That is why you are there. You are there to create it in the system. Is the role of the teacher to do whatever is in the system? No. The role of the teacher is to take the system and turn it on its head, to take out the bad things in the system and substitute them with good things. That's why we are there. Otherwise, what role do we play? Right? If I wanted to go with the system, I wouldn't be talking to you now. Why would I go? Why would I be talking to you? I have no children, so there's no child of mine is going to go to one of your schools or any school. I am 65 years old. I'm 64 years old. I don't go to school anymore. Why do I care? Because that is why we exist. We exist to try to make this world a better place, not go with the system. We are here to change that system to the best of our ability. Will we succeed at a national level, at a whatever? I don't know. I don't even care. Am I doing what I am supposed to be doing? Read the Bhagavad Gita. Read Karma Yoga. Read what Arjuna was told by Krishna. Right? I mean, these are not just for reading. What is he telling you? He says, you do your karma. You do what you were created to do. We were created to change the world. Let's go change the world. Forget about the system. The system the system is whatever we and people like you and me are prepared to do to change it. That is what the system is. The system doesn't come from somewhere else. System is what we created. We have a system which today we are not satisfied with because of what we did or somebody like us did. If we want to change that, that power is in our hands. Earlier scholars, Zubair, Imaduddin, earlier scholars mostly had their fathers as teachers and role models. Can we bring it back? Should we bring it back? You know, this is to me, there's more also a logistical question. Yes, it was, and I think there is a lecture of mine on the starting of schools. If you think about it, just read the history of schooling. Schooling literally started. You can almost put a date on it, which is the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution is the birth of schooling as we know today, and the reason for that is logistics. People wanted to work in factories, and so and then of course the women also started going to work in factories because women used to take care of their children at home. But in an agrarian society, the boys learned from agrarian usually means patriarchal. So boys learned from their fathers. They went into the field. They learned how to plant and so on and so forth. They learned to take care of the animals. The girls, they learned from the mothers, and they learned sewing and cooking and some medicine and various things. How to keep a good home, how to take care of children. All of this they learned from the mother. This was the standard teaching system in agrarian societies. In our country, in India, you can see this in operation even today if you go to some of the remote villages. I mean, today it has gone to a point where even in villages we have schools. Whatever the standard of that schooling, there is a school. But if you go into remote places, you find that in tribal societies you still find that. But when the Industrial Revolution happened, then people started working in the factories. First it was the men, then it was the women. This is how women's fashion also changed. Women stopped wearing loose clothing because loose clothing gets caught in machines. So they started wearing clothing which is closer and closer to men's clothing, which is trousers and so on and so forth. So now when you take the mother and father out of the house, who takes care of children? They took all those children, put them into a class with one teacher. So one teacher now took care of 50 children, 30 children, 50, 60 children, whatever it was. And that's how formal schooling started. And then they say, well, what does a teacher teach? A set of subjects. And the focus was almost always, except for exclusive schools, which were created for the, within quotes, ruling class. Other than that, the focus was utilitarian, which was, how can I get a job? So you were teaching, you were creating either administrative, this is how the Indian schooling system started with the British, which was really designed to create administrators, or rather clerical administrators, because the senior jobs were always with white people. They needed the Indians at level 2, level 3, so clerical staff. So our schooling is all oriented towards clerical education. So or what amounts to that. So that, and then some vocational skills, which is actually working with the hands. This is how schooling started. Now, what also happened as a consequence of that is that in the agrarian society, because the parents were the role models, the parents were the teachers, children also got educated in their culture, in their religion, in manners, in society, how to deal with society, and so on and so forth, from the perspective of their culture. But when they went to a school, now they had students from multiple cultures, multiple belief systems, multiple manners, multiple forms of society, and the teacher himself or herself was also not necessarily from the culture of one particular child. So the aspect of diversity and how to deal with diversity also got created. The only problem is that we just have now that as a problem. We don't seem to have a solution for that. So I think that's another aspect of schooling. So schooling is really, when we are talking about schooling, and this applies to all kinds of schools, is really post-industrial revolution. So we're talking about 1740s or something like that, in that. All right, now then I have Zubair Maduddin, school regarding character buildings, parents to be in absolutely 100%. Involvement of parents is absolutely critical. Not only involvement of parents, but involvement of parents and children. Right? Involvements of parents and children. Now, I sometimes ask this question to people. I said, do you have a parent-teacher association? They said yes. So before that, I asked them. I said, tell me, who is the school for? They say it's for children. I said, very nice, thank you. Do you have a parent-teacher association? Yes. So if the school is for children, why do you have a parent-teacher association? Because where are the children involved in that? Right? We have schools which are modeled on prisons, on jails, because we have them, once they enter the gate, they cannot leave until the gate opens, right? That's not in their control. Decision-making by the children in the administration of the school in most schools is zero, right? What time does the school begin? Who decides? Usually school administration, not even parents. What will be taught? Who decides? Food in the cafeteria, who decides? How long should a period be? Who decides? When a period begins, when a period ends, what happens? You ring a bell. Why? I mean, people don't have the sense of responsibility to look at their watch and say, well, my period is over. I mean, we treat people as if they are robots, or I'm trying to be polite about all this. We treat them as if they have no personality. We treat them as if they have no sense of responsibility. We treat them as if they cannot be trusted, even for the duration of their class, and then we expect to have out of the school these hugely responsible, accountable adults who come out and they're going to take these massively beautiful decisions for society. I think we're fooling ourselves, right? All of this stuff has to be taught in school. How does that happen? By involving the children in the decision making. I'll tell you a story of mine. I ran a school for 3 years in Kanyakumari district. I don't know if any of the people who are listening to this are from that area. A place called Thiruvattar, which is between Marthandam and Nagarkoil. In Thiruvattar, this was part of my responsibility. I was running actually two rubber plantations, 3 factories, all of that. A part of this CSR work of my company, the Murugappa Group from Chennai, was the school, and it was named after the one of the founders, one of the chairman, Mr. A.M.M. Arunachalam. So it was called the A.M.M. Arunachalam Higher Secondary School, and this was in a place called Thiruvattar in Kanyakumari district. So I took over the school. I was the correspondent for the school, and it happened. This was legacy. I mean, this was what my predecessor did. It was part of the job, came with the territory. So when I joined the school, the first staff meeting that I had with the school, there was the principal. There were that school incidentally had 1,200 students and 75 teachers. So it was a fairly large school. So when I took over the school, the first meeting, it so happened it was immediately after the term exam. And in the term exam, in English language, every single student in that class failed. Right? I'm talking about the final term for that class. It was class, I think it was class 8 or 9 or something like that. Next year was the 10th class board exam. So the year before that. Every single student failed in English language in that class. Everyone. I still remember and this was in 1991. I still remember the name of the teacher. His name was Titus. So I said to him, Mr. Titus, how did you achieve this? Because I thought it was an achievement. I mean, how do you make every single student fail? You know, that's an achievement. So I said, Mr. Titus, how did you achieve this? He gave me an answer. As soon as I heard him, I grabbed hold of my chair and I sat there and I counted to 10 and I took some deep breaths because I was so infuriated by his answer. He tells me, sir, these are all scheduled class children, sir. They have no brains. This is what he tells me. The man says, these are all scheduled class children, sir. They have no brains. Now, I would have assaulted him. I mean, left to myself, I would have, hammered the man. But, sometimes you have to exercise some self-control. So I didn't, for a while, I didn't say anything. And after that, I told him, Mr. Titus, what is your role in that? Right? You say they have no brains. I said, I have some, not very polite words to talk to you. But my point is, what is your role in that place? Now, the reason I'm beginning with this is because I want you to know what kind of school it was. So this was how the children were treated. So you can imagine what kind of respect they got from teachers. 0. Number 1. Number 2, corporal punishment was not just the standard, but it was my assessment that those children were very fast on their feet. They used to run very fast. And I think the reason for that was that the teachers took a view that if you could get your hands on a child at any time, then whack him. Because either you might say, well, why are you beating him now? Because, maybe he did something sometime I didn't catch him, so he escaped. Or this is beating for what he's going to do in the future, right? So some way, if you get your hand on a child, beat him. So this was the culture of the school. The school was on 2 or 3 acres of land. So it was a nice big plot of land. But it was like 3 acres of a garbage dump because there were banana peels, there were, paper, you name it. It was all over that school. So when I took over the school, I said to the teachers that I'm going to we are going to have a student council. So they said, what is the student council? I said, a student council is a council formed of students. Right? Which students? Your school students. And I said that they will elect representatives to be on this council, number 1. Number 2, the teachers also, you will elect your representatives to be on the council, but there will be a difference. On the council, the teachers will be observers. And they will be resource people, but they will not be decision makers. So I said, this is my concept. The student council will take decisions. So they said, what kind of decisions? I said, every decisions. He said, what do you mean every decision? I said, for example, declare tomorrow a holiday. This will be a decision taken by the student council. Why? Because we want it, period. Right? Is it a national holiday? No. Is it a festival? No. Did somebody die? No. I just don't want to come to school tomorrow. We decide we don't come, right? This is a decision that the student council will be empowered to take. What time do classes begin? What time do classes end? Duration of the period. Do I like this particular teacher? Do we want this teacher to teach us? They will decide. And if the school decides that they don't want you to teach them, if the class decides, then we will give you a chance in the sense that we will talk to the class, we'll say why and so on and so forth. We'll maybe move you to some other class. But you get that a couple of times and you are looking for another job. As simple as that, right? So I said, this is the student council. They were very unhappy. Believe me, I mean, they were extremely unhappy. But they couldn't help it. I mean, I was foisted on them. They wanted the job, they had to accept. So they went along. Then, now this is not a love story. Then I called the students. I had a general body student meeting and I explained this whole thing to them. What do you think they did? Do you think they all came and hugged me and kissed me? No. They looked at me like, this man is crazy. There is some trick behind this, right? This man is he is cunning. He is trying to manipulate us somehow, because we never heard of any such thing. Right? We understand beating, we understand cursing, we understand hostility, but we do not understand trust. We do not understand respect. And this man is calling us, is giving us seats, he is talking to us like respectfully. Something is wrong. Now I could see that on their faces. I could see these children saying that in their heads, right? But I knew, I mean, I'm a behavioral scientist, so I understood what was happening. So I just continued. So I said to them, I said, this is my plan, and I'm asking you to elect representatives from each class. Now they were again very reluctant, but they did that. So I told them, I said, be careful, think about who you are electing as a representative. Just because you may not like my idea so much, don't elect a wrong person and then regret that later on, because at the end of the day, that person is your representative and you are going to be stuck with them for that duration of the whole year. So be careful of who you elect. Now once they got into it, and children, they got very enthusiastic about it. We got a bunch of elected leaders. Then I said to them, this is your school. And you decide, and I told them the whole thing in the presence of the teachers. I said, you decide what time the school begins, what time it ends, what are holidays, this, all of this. I said, you can go back tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you can come back to me with your proposals. Then I said to them two other things. I said, tell me, do you like this school? They said, yes. I said, you mean really seriously? I mean, this school has got graffiti all the walls. Every exposed surface has got graffiti on it. I said, you like that? So they all looked very sort of sheepish, because they were the ones who did that. Then I said, look at this garbage dump, right? This is a garbage dump. We're not in a school, we are in a garbage dump. Then again, they looked very sheepish. So I said, do you like that? They said, no. So I said, I'll tell you what. I have a solution for this garbage dump. My solution is, and before that I had done my homework. So I said, I pulled out my map. I had created a map for the school. So I put this map on a big table. I said, look, here's the map. I have divided up this whole 3 acres of land into plots, each plot for one class. Right? So this piece of land belongs to you, to your class. Now you can do whatever you like with that, right? If you want to throw garbage, no problem. There are no punishments. You can do whatever. I just want you to know this is grade 2. This is a higher secondary school, so if you were from grade 5 upwards, so this is grade 5, grade 6, this is your class. I said, this is your plot. And then you go look on the ground. Here's the map, and look at your plot, and you can do what you like with the plot. Guess what happened? Overnight, that school, that whole place, overnight got completely clean, right? And then this is in Kerala. This is on Kerala border, beautiful, fertile land. These were children from agricultural families. Literally, in a month, that school became a garden. And I said to them, I'm going to give a prize every quarter for the best plot. You can do whatever you like. So it was motivation from that. No punishment, only positive reinforcement. So I'm going to give a prize, no punishment. If you throw garbage, no problem, no punishment. But if it looks beautiful, obviously I will not give a prize for the garbage, but I'll give a prize if it looks nice. whole thing, total transformation, zero cost. Then one day the council comes to me. They said to me, sir, we need your permission. I said, for what? Can we come here on Sunday? I said, sure, come. For what? What do you want to do on Sunday? They said, we also need you to help us. I said, for what? They said, if you give us some lime wash, whitewash, then we want to come on Sunday and we want to paint the whole school. Right? We don't like this graffiti. We want to paint the whole school. What do you do? So what I did was that on Sunday I turned up also there with them, and I brought all the stuff, and they and me and whichever of the teachers wanted to join, we all joined. We painted the whole school, and then I arranged for some bada khana kind of thing, a big dinner, lunch, and we all sat together and we had a ball, and we had this fantastic lunch. Complete transformation. Then they came to me. Guess what they came to me with? I remember I told them you can change everything. Guess what they changed? Nothing. Except that they now were committed to doing what they were already doing, but by force. We didn't change the school holidays, we didn't change the school starting time, closing time, nothing. All that we did was we treated them with respect, right? And that school, in a period, in year 2, 24 months from when we started, that school came first in the science exhibition in the Tamil Nadu state competition. Right? Same school, same people, same teachers. Now that is what I mean by student involvement, right? This is what we must do. Schooling is not about just teaching subjects. So I think this is very, very important. Atuba Saeed, in our government schools, many students are first generation, and how to cater to their needs. That is beautiful, because first generation you are setting the standards for the rest of their lives and for the rest of their generations. Demonstration is the key. They are only as good as you are, as good as the teachers are. I think also your question, Atuba, says, as a teacher, fight a battle between completing syllabus as demanded by government authorities and to give students lifelong learning. How can we make as I explained to you, do teach the same syllabus, but teach by projects. Right? I'm not telling you don't have to change any books. You don't need to change the books. You don't need to change anything. You just need to change the way you are teaching. And if you change the way you teach, they will excel in the exams. Believe me, they will come before anybody else. But they will also understand values. They will also understand what works behind things. They will get a real in-depth understanding of the subject. What happens normally, I'm not saying your school, but what happens normally is you're not really teaching them anything. You're giving them information, you're giving them discrete bits of information, and you are testing them on random memory. That's it, right? What are exams? Our exams are purely tests of random memory. Now, what is the point of that? Tell me. What is the point of random memory? I was speaking to, I keep getting invited to speak to schools and teachers and so on. I was in Assam, and I was invited to speak. I think Azhar was with me at that time. Now, Vibha Sharma, thank you very much for your comment, ma'am. Now, so I was asked to speak to this girls' college. It was a science college, and they were in the class in the hall where they came. It was all the staff, all the teaching staff, and there were, I think, 300 girls, different levels. So this is a science college. So I began my speech by saying, I said, can somebody tell me what is Archimedes' principle? There was dead silence, right? Dead silence. Nobody knew Archimedes' principle. So I said, how is it possible that you don't know Archimedes' principle? Because this is something which I learnt in school. And this is we are looking here at a graduate and postgraduate college. It's a principle of physics. I mean, why is it that nobody seems to know what is Archimedes' principle? Then one young lady, she put up her hand. So I said, yes, please. And she mentioned Archimedes' principle as the principle of displacement. So I said, fantastic, great, displacement of liquids or fluids, fantastic. I said, now, can you tell me what is the application of this in real life? Where is it applied? And that was it. She also kept quiet. So I then asked them a question. I said, tell me, if my question was, if you had an exam, in that exam there was only one question, and that question was, what is Archimedes' principle, then this young lady here, she would have got 100% because she's the only one who knows the answer and she gave the right answer, right? So she got. But does she know what Archimedes' principle is? Does she really know it? Or has she just memorized a discrete bit of information and she is now, recalled it, random recall memory, and that's it. Now, this is what our exams are. Our exams are a test of random recall memory for only one reason, which is we are too lazy. We do not figure out another way of testing real knowledge. And the test of real knowledge is application. Without application, how do you test knowledge? Tell me. I don't care how many things you memorize. What I want to know is what you're applying. Now, I know you also have to fulfill whatever norms they are, and those norms are also on memory. So by all means, let the memory be there. But my point is that if you teach them actual application, you are doing them a huge favor, because these children will actually have real knowledge. They won't just have discrete stuff in their heads and then they are spouting it out, and because of random memory they pass. And then and I know, I remember reading a Business India report, an analysis of engineering colleges and the employability of our engineers. The report in effect said that India produces more engineers, multiple disciplines, across disciplines, more engineers than all the European countries put together, right? But 85% of them are unemployable. So what is the good of producing those engineers? You're producing engineers who are being produced, within quotes, because of passing exams purely on the basis of random recall memory. Do they know engineering? Can they actually do something with their hands? No. So what good is that education? So that's why I'm saying that it's very important for us to be very clear about what we want. Atuba said, are projects equal to theme-based pedagogy? Well, I mean, call it whatever you like, but I explained to you what projects are. So if you think that makes sense, do try it. We have to pave the path for originality. It breaks conditioning or condition conformity. Absolutely, I agree. Rashmi Grover, exactly, it takes time. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it does. It takes time, but that's why I'm saying it has, if you think it is worth it, do it. Because if it is worth doing, then it's worth the time. Rashmi Grover, conditioning is such that it becomes difficult to accept. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Conditioning is what we need to break. Otherwise, we have a problem today with conditioning. So we need to break that. Yes, it is difficult. I told you, we all have to live with one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Out-of-box thinking, a teacher, that's concept for you. Out-of-box thinking of a teacher has a lasting impact on children, but the teachers opt to adhere to mediocre methods due to the system and other restrictions. What is your advice to such teachers? That's a beautiful question. My advice to such teachers is really think about your own life and say that when you are at the end of your life, when you have retired, when you are sitting and reflecting back on your life, on your achievements, what would you want to see? What do you want to be remembered for? For the amount of salary you made? Because I don't think you make much salary, right? I mean, it's Bollywood actors who get paid. It's Nautanki actors who get paid, not teachers. This is one of the problems of our society, that the people to whom we are handing over our own children to mold them, we pay them the least, and this is a very, very tragic thing. But anyway, that's your reality. So my point is, at the end of your career, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to recall? Right? Think about that and say, let me do something where I can think back and say, I did my best. I did whatever I could do to bring about positive change. I did whatever I could do to get people's hearts together, to get people to live together, to get people to respect one another, to get people to stop hating one another, to get people to stop discriminating against one another. That's what I would like to think, that this is what I spend my time in and this is what I did. Other than that, what else is there? Tell me. So think about that for yourself, right? How is it possible? This is Vibha Sharma. How is it possible to impart a multi-domain education in mainstream schools? To start with junior wings in there, Critical period learning. Yes, ma'am. As I explained to you, the multi-domain education, the project system enables you to do that without putting the pressure on every teacher to learn every subject. That's not even possible, right? I can't tell the physics teacher to also learn chemistry and mathematics and also learn history and geography. I can't tell them to do that. They can't do that, and there's no need to do that because you have subject teachers. In a project teaching methodology, it is a multi-domain way of teaching, because in that class, as I mentioned, there are several teachers, several subject teachers who are there. And if the children come up with a question for which that teacher, the domain teacher, is not there, then they can go to the teacher, they can invite the teacher. They will also invite in project teaching people from outside, right? Domain experts who can come in. And remember, with our technology today, you can literally, with an internet connection, I'm sitting here in Connecticut in the United States and I'm talking to you real time in Delhi. So what's so difficult? You can call people from outside. You can actually call people in the International Space Station and speak to the astronauts. You can ask them to do experiments for you and so on and so forth. All of this is going on. We have enough and more technology. So thinking about that, it is the issue is, are you willing to try? Right? So my submission is, do try that. Try it as a pilot program in one school, in one area. See how it works for you. I'm not saying change the whole system. Try it in one place. It will also give you, grounds to promote that system and to talk about, advocate that system on a larger scale. But try it at least in one place and see how it works. Believe me, I have tried it. I'm telling you my life experience. I've tried it. It is hugely successful. You are going to get a school where the day you have a holiday, children will be crying in their homes. They won't like holidays. They will say, I want to go to school. This is how beautiful the whole thing works, right? So, different learning styles. Just tell me, today, the way we are teaching, are we catering to different learning styles? Short answer is no. You got one learning style, which is the instructive style, instructional style. Teacher talks, students shut up and listen, mug up, and produce at the examination time. In the project learning system, you are catering to every single style that the children will learn from, by hearing, by seeing, by touching and feeling, by talking to one another, through argument and so on. In our normal classes, you focus and your desired thing is silence. In a project class, the desired thing is noise. Not random noise, but the noise of children discussing, of arguing and so on. While they are doing that, you're also teaching them how to disagree without being disagreeable. You're teaching them how to put forward an argument. You're teaching them how to present their argument to the class, how to sell their idea, how to take criticism, how to take feedback. All of this is being taught in a project class which is focused on mountains, for example, or which is focused on oceans, or which is focused on the atmosphere, or whatever it is, right? You are also teaching them behavior. You're teaching them manners. You're teaching them presentation skills. You're teaching them influencing skills. You're teaching them conflict resolution skills, not in a class which is titled conflict resolution. They are learning by doing. There is nothing more powerful than that. Believe me, as I'm telling you, I am speaking from my experience of having done this, and that is and that works. I'm talking about children who are 3+ age. Vibha Sharma, that is the best age. They are the most creative. They are pure. That they have not been corrupted by the system. They have not been stuck into a box. You can only do this. They have imagination. They have creativity. Let them loose. Let them do what comes naturally to them. Your role as a teacher is not to tell them what to do. That's believe me, the biggest difficulty that teachers are going to have is to keep their mouth shut. The biggest difficulty that teachers are going to have is not to give answers, right? You have to live with your huge discomfort of seeing them making, within quotes, mistakes, and trying to understand that is how they are learning. They learn by taking something apart. They don't learn by looking at something and putting it on a shelf. That is really, you will have to teach your teachers how to teach in a system like this. But when you do that, believe me, it's a beautiful experience. Your teachers will love it, the children will love it, and they will They will ace everybody in the standard exams. I'm not telling you to change the whole system. I know you can't do that. It is not even necessary, right? It is something which is very important to inculcate, and once you do that, believe me, you will have no problem. Those children, the 3+ age, and remember, from that age, if this is the within quotes positive conditioning that you are giving them, you are creating winners. You are creating children that you will look back on, and they will look back on you as the inspiring force in their lives, and they will go out in the world and they will do great things. So I think this is a very, very important thing to do. All right, we've got 40+ minutes. We have done already experiential learning. Fatima Hamza, that's from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Experiential learning. Any other questions or Vibha Sharma, one has to be the change maker, breaking conditioning. It should be us first. Absolutely right, ma'am. It all begins with us, right? All begins with us. The whole world begins with me, one person. If I decide to do it, it will be done. If we do not do it, we can talk. I can tell you, do this, but if I'm not doing it, has no effect. Children listen with their eyes. They don't care what you say until they see what you do. Atuba Sai, thank you for your precious time. No, believe me, I mean, obviously I am, thank you for thanking me, but my point is that this is not, I'm not giving my precious time. This is the best use of my time. I am grateful to you and all those who arranged this to enable me to spend the time with you, and I am grateful to you for listening. So it is your time, and I hope this has been beneficial for you. Fatima Hamza from Nigeria says, how do we bring parents on board? Talk to them, invite them, talk to them, and thank you for that question. Please understand one thing. I'm not giving you instant coffee. I'm not giving you some magic solution that the moment you do this will happen. Remember my story of my school. What was the first thing that I experienced? Was suspicion, was hostility, even from the children, the so-called beneficiaries of my program. What was their first reaction? Suspicion, because people are not used to all this. So when you start something new, please be prepared to be treated with suspicion. Do not be put off by that. Do not be discouraged by that. Live with that. Know it is going to happen, and also know equally certainly that it will change. So call the parents. First meeting you call, one person will come, right? Maybe nobody will come. You call them, go and meet the parents, go to their home, sit with them, do whatever is feasible for you, right? So because obviously everything which I'm telling you, you can say, oh, but we can't go to every parent's house. No, you can't go to every parent's house. You can go to one parent's house. So go to one parent's house, right? Do whatever you can do. Like Mother Teresa said, if you can't feed 100 people, feed one. So similarly, if you can't influence all the parents, influence one. And that one will influence another one and another one, and lo and behold, you will have this. So you will have people. So come them, right? Children listen with very true, Vibha Sharma. I mean, absolutely. Children listen with their eyes. Believe me, everybody listens with their eyes. Huh? Nobody cares what we say until they see what we do. If I am telling lies, typical example I'll give you. Child doesn't want to go to school, right? He's being difficult and so on. So what do the parents do? The next day the parents send a letter with the child saying he was sick, so he could not attend school. Now the child knows this is a lie. The parent who's writing the letter knows it's a lie, and then the parent tells the child, you must never tell lies. How effective do you think that is, right? How effective is that? So children and everyone listens with their eyes. They don't care what you say until they see what you do. How can you influence? By demonstration. How can I convey to you my values? By living the values myself. I have a quote. I say to people, what does a lamp do to enlighten a dark room? What does a lamp do to the room to enlighten, to drive away the darkness in a dark room? What is the answer? Nothing. The lamp does nothing to the room. What does the lamp do? The lamp lights itself. When the lamp lights itself, darkness gets dispelled. So we have to look at what is it that we are practicing. Fatima Hamza, yes indeed, this lockdown time calls for paradigm shift. A good place to start instituting the change. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And this is very good. This lockdown time, believe me, it's a blessing in disguise, right? Because this has given us time to sit down, to reflect, to introspect. For example, this conversation of mine, we would not be having it if it wasn't for this lockdown, right? But we are having it. So it is the important thing is let us make the best of it. Let's not complain about that. Atubai said, please suggest some good books that we can read to be an effective facilitator. Okay, I will send you a book list, inshallah, and you can share it with them. Nimra Lodi, right now, what we are doing to force them to learn English. On the other hand, we know that they can do wonders in their mother tongues. You know, this issue of mother tongue, father tongue, language is language, right? I don't believe in mother tongues. I speak 5 languages. And believe me, that's the best thing that happened to me in my life is I learned all these languages. Now, the point is, English, whether you like it or not, is the language of the world. English is the language of science. English is the language of medicine. English is the language of technology. The language of all of these things is not Urdu, it is not Arabic, it is not Tamil, it is not Hindi, it is not Sanskrit, it is not Telugu, it is not Malayalam, it is English. Whether you and I like it or not, that is a reality. Somebody who does not speak English, believe me, the doors of so many things are shut to them. It is not funny. And it does not mean that if you learn English, you have betrayed your nation, you have betrayed your religion, you have betrayed your... This is all regressive, nonsensical thinking. A language is a tool to communicate. That's it, period. Right? There is no need to get very emotional about languages. A language is a tool to communicate. If I am speaking to... why did I learn Tamil? Because I lived and worked in Tamil Nadu, and the people around me, the workers in the tea gardens where I worked, the only language they knew was Tamil. So what am I going to go and do there? No, I will speak only Urdu because this is my mother tongue. I will speak only English because I went to a school. Sure, go talk to the trees, right? Talk to the trees, they will listen to you because we can't understand. We can only understand Tamil. You want to talk to us, learn Tamil. So I learned Tamil. I didn't even start with whatever I said. I'm saying I learned Tamil. And believe me, I'm so happy today I learned Tamil. A lot of my business clients today are big time Tamil business family owners who are my clients in my family business consulting. One of the primary reasons is that I can speak to them in their own language. How did I learn that? By not being chauvinistic about my language. I love Urdu. Urdu is my mother tongue. I love Urdu. I did Urdu until BA, until the level of BA. I speak Urdu very well. But do I speak Urdu to Tamilians? That would be stupid, right? So don't get stuck with this language business. A language is a tool. That's it, period. And if you don't have that tool, you cannot function in a society where that tool is required. It's like having the number 17 spanner. If you need a number 17 spanner, number 16 will not work, number 18 will not work, a hammer will not work, right? A chisel will not work. You need a number 17 spanner, so go get one. So that is my take on language. Learn every single language, and that is extremely, extremely important. I think that I have probably answered all the questions. And Atuba says, I'm experiencing a facilitator addressing each and every person by name. Thank you very much. I've done this all my life. It is very important. I mean, this is you showing respect to people by taking their names, and we must do that. Very important for us to Mohsin Said views on online education. I'll come to that in a minute. Very important for us to do that also with the children, right? Address them by name. Very, very important for us to do that. Whatever way you have of remembering the name. Obviously, if you have a school, with many children, you might not, but use tools to learn to remember. Mohsin Said views on online education. Once again, matter of tools. If not everything can be taught online, and not everything needs to be taught in person to person. So depending on what you are teaching, use whatever tool is feasible and which is the most effective. There are some things which necessarily need person to person contact. In other things, in other situations, you can use online, you can use technology. Use whatever is the. We must never lose sight of the focus. What is the focus? The focus is learning, right? It's not the tool. It's not online or physical class or language or this or that. Learning. If learning is happening, then whatever we are doing is good. If learning is not happening, it doesn't matter how sophisticated our whole setup is, it's not working. So use whatever works for you. Do with that. Habibur Rahman, language is a tool. Many have destroyed their potential by sticking to their favorite language. Absolutely, 100% correct. Absolutely 100% correct. Language is a tool. Learn languages. The more languages you know, believe me, the more influential you will be, the more powerful you will become. Again, Habibur Rahman, Inam, the lockdown has helped us relook at everything around us. The established norms are no more valid, so it's time we reset and decide the way forward. You took the words from my mouth. Absolutely 100%. We have to reset. We have to restart our whole system. People are talking about going back to the normal. I tell people the normal is what landed you here. You don't want to go back to the normal. Believe me, you need to create a new normal, which will ensure that we don't end up in the situation that we are in today. Right? So let us treat this lockdown as a huge blessing. Respect the lockdown. Don't go out. Don't go wandering here and there. Stay inside your houses and reflect and think and introspect and use technology. Talk to people, share ideas, thoughts, and so on and so forth. And inshallah, this will everything ends. I mean, this will also end. And then when it ends, we must go out there and we need to create a new world. Believe me, we need to create a new world so badly. It's not funny. This lockdown is really something which comes to teach us where we are. Atuba says my Twitter handle is at M Yawar Baig. One word. It's at MYAWARBAIG. I think Azhar will probably put it up here for all of you. It is at M Yawar Baig. Right, I think are we done? Can somebody tell me? All right, there's Azhar put that thing. Nimra Lodi, thank you for this encouragement. I'm at your service, madam, anytime. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Fatima Hamza, I've done a bit of work in integration of knowledge. The only thing missing now is transforming teachers into facilitators. Absolutely, 100%. I know the work that Fatima Hamza has done. May Allah bless her. Wonderful work. Training teachers is the root. It is the fundamental platform, and really, do focus on that. Fatima Hamza runs a very wonderful school. I've been there several times in Nigeria, and I think you should. She's here, and I think if Sister Fatima, if you can share your email, then they will. Oh, there it is. Viva Sharma is asking for it already. Please share your email. And my email, I'll give. My email is very simple. Viva, it is okay. There it is. Azhar is on the job. So Fatima Hamza's email also, if you can share, then you people can be in touch with her and see what kind of work she is doing there. Oh, there it is. Add Fatima Hamza, share your contact, Zubair Saif, Gmail. Yeah, okay. So you guys are on it, and. Right, I have shared my email and Twitter handle as well, and I look forward to remaining in touch with you guys. Most welcome to email and to be in touch. Then so let's call it a day, because I think all of you must be late for you as well. Thank you very much, Atuba Saeed. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I am most grateful to you, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much to all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Azhar, can I leave? Okay, Fatima Hamza's email also is there for those of you, if you check that. Zubair Imaduddin, what is the potential game changer for Hyderabad city? Get out of ostentatious weddings and spend that money on education. Rashmi Grover, thank you for the insightful session. Thank you very much, Rashmi, for attending. Concept for you. We look forward to having you in Chennai soon. Absolutely, and eating some good masala dosas with you guys. That's one thing I miss here in the US, masala dosas. All right, so let me take your leave and look forward to being in touch. Asia Mariam, thank you very much indeed.